The Play's the Thing, with your host, Judy Sleed. Special guest, Gabrielle Scarpaci, Executive Director of the East Hampton Food Pantry.
Love me in bed.
Now here's Judy.
Love me.
I'm getting as big as 3 names. And here I have Gabby with me, who lost a lot of weight. I mean, she looks like a model now. Gabby, this is your 3rd time over here.
Yes, first time solo.
Yes. And now you could tell me all about all about yourself again. First of all, I have to say I know your mom,
Yes.
and somehow that conversation came up about your name. I said, I like the name Gabrielle. How did you manage? How come you gave that name to her? And she just said, even before I knew she was born, I just wanted Gabby.
She had a
Gabby.
doll named Gabby when she was little. So she said when she ever had a daughter, that was the name. So she told my dad he had no say in it. That was going to be the name.
Yes, and I remember years back, I used to know a little girl, Gabi. That's in Hungarian. I'm Hungarian. You
yes.
pronounce it Gabi.
Yes.
So I love that name too.
Right. Yeah.
So
Well, it's becoming more common. You know, growing up, it was pretty unusual to run into another Gabrielle, but now it's very common. So
yes, it's a very pretty name.
well, thank you.
So you're very involved with the food pantry.
Yes. Yes.
And as years go by, you're getting more and more involved with it.
Yes.
And it takes up a lot of your time.
It does take up a lot of my time. It's taken over my life at my mother's.
Yes. And that's only part of what you do.
Yes.
So what do you do for the food pantry now?
Well, I'm the executive director of the pantry, and I've been with the pantry for about 6.5 years. And since the economic downturn in 2008, we've seen our numbers quadruple. They're down slightly from last year, but we still fed about 33,000 mouths last year. I don't want to say individual people because we count the mouths that we feed each week, and that's the food that we order. So there's a tremendous need in the town of East Hampton. Each town, each village has its own pantry. We seem to be the biggest one. We also have a satellite in Amagansett at St. Michael's Lutheran Church. And so in East Hampton, we're seeing about 300 families a week, and in Amagansett, they're seeing between 40 and 50 families a week. So, there's a lot of people that need help with food.
So you're in charge of ordering this food?
I do some of the ordering. We have a board member who does some of the ordering as well. But I'm basically in charge of operations, just making sure that we have enough volunteers, that things run smoothly. If there are problems, I have to deal with them. I deal with all the emails and the phone calls and the text messages and the interviews. And, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of responsibility, but it's very rewarding. It gives you a good feeling to know that you're helping people and making an immediate impact in their lives and, giving them perhaps their dinner for that evening.
So in the East Hampton, you give out food once a week?
Yeah, we're open every Tuesday from 2 to 6. And we are open from 1 to 2 for the residents of Windmill Village, where we're located. And then at our Amagansett satellite, we're open from 4 to 6. And people can come every week and get food for their families. And we give out food based on the size of the family, so obviously a larger family will get more food.
So what type of food do you give out? Do you give out canned goods, fresh food?
Yeah, well, in the past, we used to pretty much just give out canned and dried goods. But like I said earlier, we're located at Windmill Village, which is a low-income senior housing development in East Hampton. And a lot of the seniors have dietary restrictions, such as sodium or sugar. So we kind of talked about it and thought, what can we do to sort of improve that? So we decided, I would say maybe 4 or 5 years ago that we were going to try to provide more fresh food. So we give out fresh produce, fruits and vegetables, and sometimes we get some herbs. And then we have fresh dairy. We have milk and eggs, and sometimes we have cheese and butter and yogurt. So that was really important to us to be able to provide people with fresh food. I know most pantries in the country, you get a couple of cans of stuff and maybe a box of pasta, and that's it. So we try to really give a little extra to our clients. We also have bread and pastries, which are donated to us by local businesses. And then we
I was
also give,
just going to say, when you have these like milk and eggs, then and fresh vegetables, that has to come from local farmers or local businesses, and you can't really keep that long, so you have to get it like a day before.
Yeah, we have deliveries on Monday and then Tuesday mornings, and some of the stuff is local. I'd like to mention the Food Pantry Farm, which is located at Eco Farm on Long Lane in East Hampton. They have 3 acres that they've dedicated specifically to provide food for all the East End pantries, and they've been
Wow.
really generous with us and provide us with a lot of fresh vegetables, and then the herbs that we get, they grow. They recently put up some hoop houses, so they're able to grow food all year long, some greens. So, that's a tremendous help to us. We spend about $150,000 a year buying food, which is, we have to fundraise all year long. Where in the
Where
past,
does the money come from?
well, it comes from individual donors, and then the schools and different church groups and Boy Scouts and different organizations, the Lions Club, the Rotary Club, Kiwanis. They do drives for us, and we do fundraising all year long. We have different events that we do. We do movie nights in the summer at Indian Wells Beach, which is great. They put up a big 20-foot screen right on the beach, and people sit on the sand and watch the movies. And we usually
You
show.
charge?
We don't charge, no. We just ask for donations, and then we sell popcorn and candy and drinks and stuff. So that's how we make the money, and glow sticks and stuff like that. And we do the polar bear plunge on New Year's Day.
Oh my gosh,
This
did you
year.
ever plunge?
Did I go in? No. I did not go in.
So people who plunge, they give you money or you give them money to plunge?
Yes, one would think so. No, they get sponsors, and we raise money that way. So
It's amazing.
yeah, it's a
Because
great
I never
event.
know how to raise money. I never know.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of work, and we also do a Western fair. We do Harvest for Hunger around Thanksgiving. This year we had it at East Hampton Middle School on Newtown Lane, so it was very successful. But then, we split whatever we make with the other pantries, because we're all struggling, and we all try to help each other out, and we're friendly with them. So, it's sort of a big undertaking. Where in the past, we would just do one fundraising letter a year, and that would sort of get us through. So we did one this Christmas, and we made a decent amount of money. But, we always have to look into the future, and are we going to be able to provide the food that we want to with the money that we have? So we always have to make sure that we have, a nice cushion in our bank account.
That's always good to have a cushion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there is a lady who makes soup sometimes.
Yes, Carol Card. She's one of our volunteers, and she's great. Every week she makes soup or chili, and then sometimes she has bread or little sandwiches. Like a few weeks ago, she made tomato soup with grilled cheese sandwiches.
Yeah, I
so
had
that's
to.
nice.
I tasted her tomato soup. It is so delicious.
Yes. And she does that for the volunteers and then some of the residents at Windmill. And, they're really appreciative. That's where my mom gets her lunch every Tuesday. She says that I neglect her and I don't go buy her lunch, so she has to count on Carol's generosity.
So I probably asked you this on previous shows, but where are you from?
I'm originally from Brooklyn, and I've been out here for 14 and a half years.
You came directly to Windmill Village?
No, I worked a few other jobs, but I've been at Windmill now almost 7 years. And then, at the pantry, about 6.5 years. So time's gone by very quickly.
So they have like Windmill 1 and Windmill 2, and now
Right.
there is a Windmill 3.
Right, St. Michael's Housing in Amagansett.
So you
yeah.
keep moving from one to the other.
Yes, well, the staff is very busy. We're all sort of involved in all the different
So you started
places.
with Windmill 1,
Yeah,
and then you went to Windmill 2,
right.
and now you're in Windmill 3, or you just
Well,
go back
it's
and
not
forth?
called Windmill 3. It's called St. Michael's Housing, and it's
Oh.
through the Lutheran Church there. We purchased some land from them. We put up another 40 units.
I
which are
wonder
now
why
leased
it's
out.
not Windmill 3.
Oh, well, I guess just because of the location, because the church was generous and sold us the land at a discounted rate, so, that's what we call the housing
Yeah, but
there.
like the same people are involved.
Yeah, well, yeah, right, we're managing it and running it.
Jerry Mooney is.
Jerry Mooney is the manager. Well, he and Kathy Burns are co-managers. And so we have social service coordinators at both places. And
What is your part in?
I am the tenant specialist. I do all the annual recertifications.
My gosh,
and
it's so
work with
many
the tenant.
jobs. How do you have time
I have
for?
many jobs, but they all sort of are intermingled, and we're all like that. Kathy and Jerry are both on the board for the food pantry and do a lot to help us out. So it's nice. We have a nice group. We're all good friends. We all work well together. We all help each other out, and
That's
it
good.
seems to work well. I
That's
mean, we've all been
important.
doing this for years, and so far so good.
So far, so good. And you got your mom involved.
I do, yeah. She helps out at the pantry every week, whether she's feeling well or not. So yeah, she helps sign the people in that come in each week to get food, and she's become friends with a lot of them, especially the seniors at Windmill. And it's been nice for her to have friends that are close to her age and people that she might have something in common with, as opposed to just being with me all the time.
And last couple of times you were on my show, you were with
Vicki
Vicki
Littman. Yeah, she's on. She's the co-chair of the board of directors for the food pantry, and she owns Vicky's Veggies in Amagansett, and she's a good friend of mine.
Then she give you vegetables.
Yeah, she does. She at Thanksgiving and Christmas, when we have sort of a larger distribution. She and her mom, Elaine Jones, have been very generous and have donated a lot of the vegetables that we give out. We try to give out like a full Thanksgiving meal with the vegetables and either a chicken or a turkey. Although this year we gave out gift cards because we had a hard time getting the turkeys. And also it's sort of difficult to find storage for 300 turkeys or 300 chickens.
I would
mean, we
say.
have a walk-in refrigerator and some freezers and refrigerators, but certainly not large enough to handle that capacity.
And do you do any cooking yourself?
Well, that's where my mom comes in. She's been living with me for the past 3 years, and so she does the cooking. I don't think she wants to eat my cooking. So.
No, I didn't mean that you do the cooking at
at home at the pantry. No,
At the
we're
pantry.
not really like a soup kitchen per se. We give out the food, and Carol prepares soup and gives it out to the volunteers, but we don't really serve cooked meals.
But there is something like food is prepared on Wednesday. Is that from the food
You mean
pantry?
at Windmill?
What?
At Windmill? At Windmill 1?
No, it's
Dinners?
it's at a church.
Oh, that's at Most Holy Trinity.
And that has nothing to do with the
No,
food pantry?
that's the East Hampton clericus got together and wanted to do like a monthly soup kitchen, for the community. So they give a meal, soup and dessert and bread. And
I thought it
that
was
people
every
can
week.
come. It's the first Wednesday of each month.
Or
I
first
think-
Wednesday?
yeah.
I thought it was every Wednesday.
Yeah, no.
No. I once went there to help out.
Right. Yeah, I hear it's very nice. They have a lot of people that attend.
Right. Yes. And how did you lose all this weight? Working with all that food.
Yeah. Well, it hasn't been easy, I have to say. So, but I feel a lot better, and I'm glad that I did it. So.
So it's been a year since you started?
It's been over a year.
Yeah.
So
Did you
it's
cut out?
slow. It's been slow lately.
Well, you look so much thinner. I
Oh,
mean,
thank
every time I see you, you get smaller and smaller. What
Well,
did
that's
you
a good thing.
What did you give up?
I've just sort of had, I would say portion control. Portion control.
Did you do
That's
it
the
with a
important
doctor or
So-
with some group?
Yeah, I mean, I was dealing with a doctor, yes. So, but you know, it's been a struggle, let's just say.
A struggle.
Yes.
But when you look in the mirror, you're happy.
Yeah, I feel better. I
Yes.
can wear smaller clothes now.
How about
so.
writing a book about it?
Well, in my spare time, I'm not working. Well, yeah, maybe.
Yes. And you said you took a course in making TV shows?
Yes, I took the producer director's class here at LTV back in October, which was a really great experience. It was
In
a
your
full day
spare
class.
time, right?
Yes, my spare time. Well, I took a vacation day from work. I came because the class was from about, I guess, 9 to 5.
Yeah.
We were here all day, so we learned to work the cameras and the board outside, and then we had to do a show. We had 2 groups, and so we were in here, and so we were interviewed, and then we had to do the interviewing, and we had to introduce a clip and talk about it, and do it within the 5-minute time frame that they gave us. So that was a
So
lot
what
of
are you
fun.
going to do with all this knowledge? You're
Well,
going to make a movie, right?
A movie? I don't know about that. But I think I'm probably going to do a series of interviews with my mother, who grew up in Germany during World War II, and just her experiences, how my grandfather was killed and they were evacuated and had to go live in this farm for like 7 years, and the struggles that they went through. And
So
you
it
don't
would be
often
like-
hear about sort of the women and children that were affected. You hear the stories about the Jewish people and different things that happened to them, but you don't hear sort of about the innocent German civilians and how they were affected. And
Right.
so, and my mother and my uncle were quite young at the time, so it was really tough on my grandmother. She was, I think, in her late 30s, so she had these 2 small children, lost her husband, and had to survive. So she has these really interesting stories. And
So you're going to do like a documentary?
Yeah. Or just have somebody, a friend of ours, sit and ask her questions and allow her to talk about her experiences. And it'll be nice
So
to have.
interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
So-
Well, every story is interesting.
Yeah,
I
of
always
course.
say
Yeah, I
that.
mean, everybody has interesting life experiences, but
Yeah, that's what I say when I interview people, that all the people I interview, they have an interesting story.
yeah.
Yes. Which station says that? Everybody has a story? There's a TV station that says that. So here is me talking to Gabby, who is with the food pantry and managing tenants, and now she's becoming a movie producer, a TV producer.
Right. Now that I'm entering the second half of my life, I'm moving
Yes.
on.
So when did you come to the Hamptons, did you say?
Back in '98. My parents had moved out here, and I would come out and visit, and I really liked it. I was sort of sick of the city and commuting into the city every day working, so I decided to move out here as well. And so then a couple of years later, then my parents moved to Florida, and I stayed and been here ever since. And I don't think I could ever go back to the city and that way of life.
I love the Hamptons.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't like
Except in the summer.
Well, if you stay home in the summer, it's okay. If you don't
Right,
venture out,
exactly.
because the traffic gets to be very busy.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, we are homebodies. Yes. And so did you live in East Hampton?
We live in North Haven in Sag Harbor,
Oh,
so
Yes,
it's
that is
not
all-
too far. Although people always say, "You live so far away. I can't believe you come so far." I say it's not too bad.
and what do you do for entertainment?
In my spare time, well, I don't have too much spare time these days, but my brother and his family still live in Brooklyn. I have a little 4.5-year-old niece, and then I have a another 25-year-old niece. So I try to see them when I can, and
You go to
spend time.
Brooklyn,
Yeah, or they come out here.
or they come out?
And, I try to see my friends back in the city whenever I can. And, it seems to be less and less now as we get older and they have families of their own. But we stay in touch.
And do you go to the movies, or you go
Yeah,
to Guildhall
sometimes.
sometimes?
Yeah. We go to Guildhall. Actually, my mom loves the opera, and they do the Met
Really?
Live in HD performances. So we've
Wow.
gone to quite a few of those, and it's been nice. We always run into people we know, and so.
Yeah, that's what it's
Yeah.
nice about the Hamptons.
Right. Yes, you always run into people you know, whether you
And
want to or not.
I hear you love to go out to eat.
Yes. Yeah, we do. We try to go out once a week if we can. It's not always, we're not always able to, but my brother's a chef, and so my
Oh.
mom's a really good cook, so we've always sort of been foodies, and we like to go out when we can. Yeah.
What is your favorite type of food?
I don't know if I have a favorite type of food. We like to try, different cuisines and different restaurants, go to different places, and there are a lot of nice restaurants out here, so.
Well, you said your mother is from Germany.
My mother's from Germany.
She probably knows how to make sauerbraten.
She does. I don't really like it that much. But she can make anything. I mean, she makes really good Italian food. My dad was Sicilian, so she had to learn how to make Italian food. And then she was a big influence on my brother. I mean, that's really why he's a chef, because, he used to watch her and he was interested in the different things that she was making, so.
So you said that you're always looking for volunteers to help with the food pantry,
Oh, at the pantry, yeah.
how you go about asking. When you walk on the street, do you nudge people, hey, you want to help me?
Well, they come to us, and I mean, we've been really lucky because we have a nice core group of volunteers, and then we have other people that come through, both students that have to do community service for school.
Oh, yeah, that's
And
right.
then the town has a program, which is great, that if you get like a speeding ticket or something, in order to avoid getting points on your license, you can do it by doing community service. And so people have come in for that. So, we've met some really great people that way.
So some students make some food, I noticed, and I'm always wondering if it's under supervision.
The students make food?
Yeah, like sometimes the Ross School makes food.
Oh, well, that's food that the staff prepares, and then we can get the leftover food. But we
You
don't.
mean it's not the
No,
students
the students
who make
don't
it?
make that. No.
Oh, I thought
no.
the students made it. I was
No.
always wondering.
No, that's like part of their.
I thought it
of
was
their-
a cooking class.
No, it's part of their lunch program, and if there's leftover food, we get that. But we don't get it very often. We have sort of strict guidelines on what we can accept, and things have to be stored and packaged properly. We're really strict with that.
And as far as the canned food, do you check those if they are outdated or?
No, not really. Canned stuff is good like 10 to 20 years after the date goes up. That's really just for, selling stuff in the supermarkets with those
Yeah,
dates.
that's what I thought.
I mean,
but
baby food is really the only thing where you really have to go by the expiration date. But I mean, if you have a can of peas and it says it's, expiring in August of 2013, it's really good for many years after that. So
that's
it's really,
what
it's up to the individual. I mean, obviously, if the cans are dented on the seams or, on the top, then, air can get in, and obviously they're no good. But if there's like a little dent in the can, it's really.
I know. I know people who just keep looking at the dates and they throwing them away.
Yeah. Well, it's up to the individual. If they don't want to take it, they can certainly give it back. We tell people that if they don't want what's in the bag, or, they don't like it, or for whatever reason, they should just return it to us.
Mm-hmm. Do you have that a lot? People come back and give you things back?
Yeah, we do. I mean, especially like single people that, don't need so much cereal or peanut butter or whatever. But for the most part, like the larger families, just keep everything.
No, does anybody come back with a complaint that something was not good or not to their satisfaction?
Almost never. I mean, we almost never get complaints that, the food is bad or whatever. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I thought, because a lot of people complain about a lot of silly things.
Yeah. Well, it's like that with everything in life,
Yes.
Most people are happy and grateful, and then you get the few who complain. So you just deal with it.
So now with all these jobs and things that you do, is there something else that you are not doing because you don't have the time?
No, I think, I lead a pretty full life. This job is good because I get to meet a lot of people, a lot of
Yes.
different people. So that, and I've made a lot of friends that way. My phone, I have hundreds and hundreds of numbers in my phone. And I was recently talking to somebody about that. And they said, oh, what are all those numbers? I said, oh, it's a business. And they said, well, you don't have separate phones? I said, well, you don't seem to understand. I'm friends with most of the people that we do business with, It's just,
Yeah.
in a small town that happens. People get friendly, and so that's been really nice for me.
Do you play any instruments? Or you have any desire?
No, I took guitar lessons when I was a kid for about 3 years, but yeah, that's didn't
Well,
quite
who
work out.
knows with this new career with photography, I mean the
With my
taping.
filming, yes.
Yeah, maybe you will want to be a musician.
Maybe I'll have my own talk show.
Yeah, that's
Call it the Gab.
call it the Gab. That's very appropriate.
Yes.
Well, I want to thank Lupita for fixing my hair for this show.
It looks great. It really does.
And the
You just had it done today?
underwriters. Let me see if I could remember my underwriters without whom I couldn't do this show. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad with names, but the names will appear on the show when we finish, and we're just about finished. I want to thank you, Gabby, for coming and talking to me again. And you look so well.
Thank you.
And you do so many, you are very inspiring.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate
And
it.
anybody who watches the show, just go and volunteer and help Gabby for all the wonderful things she does.
Love me.
So goodbye until next time. And who knows who you're going to see in that chair.